morning, it's Pamela from Yorkshire in the north of England. Today's Wednesday the 3rd of January. A few days since I spoke to you on New Year's Eve. I haven't got anything finished, but I have made progress on things. I'm so glad that I made that list of, you know, goals, without putting pressure on myself, of course. But I did. Now then, where shall I start? That's the question. Oh yeah, so one of my first pledges was to finish my scarf that I started some time ago, and it just been sat there waiting. Well, I started doing it again on New Year's Eve, which it was quite late on when I came on here, but I did just a few rows, I can't remember, about half a dozen, something like that, on Sunday evening, and then to the end of New Year's Day I'd done that much. So, and then yesterday I did that much. So, and I've just done a few rows this morning. I must say I'm really enjoying doing this on an evening. I really need to do this because the amigurumis I love, but I think it takes a toll on my eyes on an evening. So I think having another project on the go as well as an amigurumi is a good idea. The other thing is I forgot to include my jewel spun that I bought at Black Sheep Wools on my list of to-do things. So that's now added to my list of to-do things. Still don't know what I want to do with it, but I think it'll be like an impulse decision when I get to it. Nick's pulled out my first 3 colours. I made him get me 3 actually, because I thought if I run out of one, I'll want another one to join in, because I am going to double up the yarns. So he's picked these 3 out for me, totally random. So we've got those 2 actually were in the coronation crochet along with Made by Anita and Serdar. So and then that one I made a scarf with that beautiful yarn. Is this? I can't remember what it is. So I think it might be King Cole Beaches. But I can't remember. It's lovely and soft though, it's really soft. That's going to add in. I'll be glad to use it up on something because it's such nice yarn. I don't want it to be, you know, discarded or just sat there waiting. So we've got those 3. I've decided I'm going to make the Hygge blanket, which I never know how to say it, but it's Hygge. I think there's lots of items that come under that title, but this one is one that's by Ophelia Talks, which is Anya, no, it's basically a V-stitch, which I don't need a tutorial for. But I do need guidance on, you know, number of stitches I have to start with, so that's why I've looked at hers. And if it works out about right, it'll be the same as her blanket, which is 1.5 metres by 1.5 metres. So that's about 5 feet by 5 feet. So that's, and I mean, it'll be a long job because it'll be just what I do in an evening, you know, between doing amigurumis. So, but I've looked at the multiple, because if the starting chain that she gives turns out to be too wide for using doubled up DK, blanket is in Aran, by the way, I will either adjust the hook size or you know, take a few of the chains off. So I've got the multiple, so we're all ready to go with that one. I'll start that as soon as I finish the scarf. Now that's it for what's on my list and updated what's on my list. I think it's a good idea, this, because there's not too many you know, projects on it that aren't amigurumi. The number of amigurumis I've got on are doable, you know, for this year. In fact, you know, I'll probably do a lot more. I'm going to tell you what I was going to do on my scrap project, and I decided that I would be making too much work for myself, plus it could be boring. I was planning, this was what I was wanting to do, and I still think it's a good idea. It's just that it's, like I say, I think it'd get boring. But I was going to, whatever amigurumi I made, I was going to make the same item in scrap yarn, just pulling out and see whatever colours came together. I think it'd have been a brilliant thing to do, because you could have ended up with some really weird and wonderful looking items. But it's whether you want to do the same pattern again, you know, because sometimes you've done it once and you've had enough. That's it, isn't it? I have done patterns quite often, like the teddies, and you know, I don't mind doing things like the festive gnomes again, or you know, like the little reindeers and what have you. But some of the patterns you do, you think that's it, I'm through. You know, you've enjoyed it, but you're through. So, but I don't think it'd have been a good idea to see what it can. I might do it for just one, you know, when I do an ami, and then just dip into the bucket of scraps and see what comes out, and do an amigurumi with whatever comes out, and you just end up with this mad thrown together colours. Anyway, tell me what you think. So there's that one. Then I've put a note somewhere. Where have I put it? Oh, you've got it. Before I do that though, oh no, I'll do that next. My Toft Cozy Cabin doll, as you know, I'd done the jumper and it didn't look right at all. So I did frog back the jumper on it. And I only managed to save the bit of silver that was in the main body of the jumper. So I've had to do the replacement jumper in ruby with highlights in silver. Now, I don't mind it, it's fine, is that? I mean, it looks a lot better than it did in the silver. What I did was, I did just thinking now. Yeah, I used a 3.5mm hook, and I tried to be really loose with my stitches, and they are looser. I can tell that they're looser. The only thing is, when I got to like the cuffs and the bottom of the jumper, I could not be bothered to do the front post, back post, half trebles again. So I've just done one row of half trebles, plus it's long enough at that. Now I've got this, I am going to be brutally honest now. I'm disappointed. I half wish I hadn't bought this. Now, the wool is nice. It's absolutely gorgeous wool. I admire a lot of the things about the pattern, the shaping of the feet, the shaping of the chin, the ears and what have you, the hair and what have you. But I don't think it's all that. You need to go on to links on the digital pattern for tutorials on some things. Now, at least 2 of my links didn't work. It just took me to a link that I'd already seen. Now, I'm not too bothered because I worked it out and it's fine, because I'm not a numpty when it comes to amigurumis. I know generally what they're after. But I find it very annoying that you need links, because in my world, a well-written pattern doesn't need links. It just needs a guide to special stitches, and that's it. But that may be oversimplified for me. You might feel differently about it. But for me, if it's a well-written pattern, you don't need to go to links. But that's just me. Now, in a way, it's told me something, because well, I tell you one of the other things I didn't like, the colour changes. The method she offered for colour changes I thought looked really poor, and I had to frog it back, and I did it my way, did it one of my ways. I ended up you know, carrying the yarn instead of like trying to let it dangle at the back, and I thought her way, it was scruffy, it was loose around the ears. I didn't like it. That's not to say it won't work for anybody else. I am by no means speaking for everybody here. Now, I'm glad I've tried one. I wish I'd have tried a kit that was for a cheaper one, really. But the Advent, before this last year, the 2 advents I know I wouldn't have liked because I find the birds quite ugly. And I hate to say that because I love all animals, but I think the birds that are on offer there, I don't like them. And that's just me. I do think she offers a really good choice of dog patterns, even if I don't, because I've got the book. Even if I don't enjoy doing the patterns so much, you can't fault the number of choice of dogs that you've got. So I will live with that and I will use them. I would suspect that I'd like the wildlife patterns, you know, like elephants and all those. I think I'd like them. But I definitely don't like the birds. So this last year I was contemplating doing the advent. But when I've seen the finished items, I'm so glad I didn't because I think they're ugly. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I'm not, like I say, other people will enjoy them and that's absolutely fine, but not me. I didn't like them. I have seen one set done that I think's best of the lot, and it's a lady on Instagram, and it's at karina.dean.daisy, and I think her set is the best I've seen, but it's not something I would enjoy looking at myself. I did worry that I wouldn't be able to do the beadwork, but I think I would. I'm sure I would. But when I've seen it in action, I think you can. And I don't think it'd be a problem with that. I just don't like the finished objects. I'm going to say something controversial as well. Not that I haven't said anything controversial so far. But I think sometimes with patterns like these, there's an element of the Emperor's New Clothes about them. People think they should say the good, so they do. I mean, that sounds mean. That sounds mean. And I don't want to dismiss any designer because they're so much cleverer than me. I mean, like I say, there's very clever elements on this, but I do not like the hands. And I can't understand why the jumper didn't fit when the trousers fit perfectly. And it can't be that I've overstuffed because otherwise the trousers wouldn't fit, would they? So I just don't see all the time what some people see in them. That's not to say I won't do any more, and I will definitely do the dogs. I've bought that yarn to do a dog, but yeah. Also, I think mine, I don't know whether it's the colour of the jumper now, I think that's a boy. I don't think it would make a girl. I feel like I'm going to leave it as a boy. What I'm going to do with the hair, I don't know. But for the time being, it's going to go away because it's annoyed me that much. And I'm not a bad amigurumi maker. I think I'm quite good really now. I mean, I had my moments where I struggled, but I think I do a fair job at them. There's mistakes that you make. You always make mistakes and you learn by them. But this one, I don't think it's down to me, and that's that. So you can tell me I'm talking rubbish if you want. I'm not bothered. But in my opinion, that is, and I found an error on the pattern as well. Basically, a lot of them I won't give a mouse room. Now, when I've got it finished, maybe I'll love him. Maybe I'll love him. When I've got him a hat on and what have you, he might be just perfect. I don't know. He needs eyes, of course, as well, and a nose. But that's my opinion. I don't think I had anything else. Like I say, it's a taste issue. It's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and that doesn't do it for me. But what do you think? What do you think? I mean, proportionally he's good. His proportions are very good. I just anyway. I'll let you. You tell me I'm talking rubbish if you want. I'm not bothered. So that's that one. Now, because I'm going to put him away, I'm going to start my next amigurumi, and as promised, I am going to do the first what should have been my birthday challenge from Cassandra at Craftably Ever After, which is Lottie the Ladybug in and that's from the book Amigurumi Treasures, which is by Erinna Lee, that one. And she's also, the Ladybird is on the middle there. So that's going to be my next Ami project, and of course she sent me the yarn to do that. So we'll go through all that bit when I've done it though. So just going to put him away and see how I feel about it after that. I think that's it now. Don't think I've got anything else to show. No, I haven't. Definitely not. So that is me done for now. I'll be back sooner rather than later, I hope. Anyway, we've got to remember my catchphrase, haven't I? Crochet should be an hobby, not a chore, in 2024. So must remember to say that now. No, people have quoted some really good ones, you know. I love it. We've got to remember that it is an hobby, definitely. Anyway, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you.